This is the K67 kiosk, one of the most iconic yet oddly fascinating structures in urban history. A true chameleon of city architecture, the K67 could transform with just a splash of paint or a change in signage. One day it was a hot dog stand, the next a fruit stall, a ski resort ticket booth, or even a tiny police station. But the strangest part is that the entire city could be built with this kiosk. This is the story of one of the most unique kiosks ever built. In 1966, Yugoslavia started a plan of modernization where they searched for concepts that were cheap, functional, and easy to mass produce. Sasha Mehtig, then a 25-year-old student, came up with the idea of a kiosk that would replace existing kiosks that didn't fit the new urban city plans. That's when K67 was born. This kiosk was made from reinforced polyester, a lightweight yet sturdy material that allowed for mass production, easy transport, and resistance to harsh weather conditions. The panels were molded into curved, smooth surfaces, giving the K67 its distinct futuristic aesthetic, while polyurethane insulation was added to improve structural stability and temperature resistance. Unlike traditional wooden or metal kiosks, which were often heavy and difficult to relocate, the K67's prefabricated modular design made it possible to assemble and disassemble quickly. It could be placed anywhere from city centers, bus stops, parks, and remote locations. Each unit could function independently or be connected to others, forming a literal city. Design philosophy was centered on flexibility. Mehtig envisioned a structure that could be modified over time with interchangeable parts like doors, windows, and signage. This is a kiosk used for selling newspapers. However, as newspapers declined with their sales in the digital era, a K67 that once served as a newsstand could be effortlessly converted into a small police station. Just add a fresh coat of paint and a sign, and it's ready to serve a new purpose. Alternatively, it could be transformed into a new coffee shop with just a simple modifications. Remove a glass panel, expand a section, and add windows. In the end, we could simply bring back the old glass panel. By 1968, the K67 was no longer just an idea. It was a mass-produced reality. The first units rolled out from Imgrad, Ljutomer, a factory in Slovenia, and immediately started appearing across Yugoslavia.
To letno kavarno Evropa je bilo meni zelo lahko. Takoj smo navdušili tudi to tovarno in smo začeli pripravljati najprej prototipe, modele, prototipe, potem smo izvedli eno večjo strukturo teh elementov in jo razstavili javnosti.
These futuristic-looking kiosks began replacing old wooden stands and metal booths, aligning with the country's modernization plan. The success of the K67 didn't stop at Yugoslavia borders. As its reputation grew, cities across Eastern and Western Europe started ordering their own units. The modular system made it easy to ship, install, and modify, making it the perfect urban fixture for any country looking for cheap, efficient street infrastructure. By the mid-70s, thousands of K67 kiosks were scattered across Europe. The government saw its potential, and soon municipalities started investing in K67s for public services. The same kiosk that sold newspapers on Monday could be repurposed as a payphone booth or an emergency information center by Friday. The reason for its success was simple. It was practical, durable, and endlessly adaptable. If a business outgrew the kiosk, it could be reassembled into something entirely new. Instead of being demolished, it could transform and continue serving the city. By the 80s, the K67 had become more than just a kiosk. It was a symbol of modernity, proving that good design could outlast trends and adapt to the future. However, by the end of the 90s, problems began appearing. For over 3 decades, the K67 kiosk was an unstoppable force in urban design. With its modular build, sleek aesthetic, and endless adaptability, it became the face of modernization across Eastern Europe and beyond. At its peak, over 7,500 units were produced, stretching from Yugoslavia to Germany, Poland, the Soviet Union, Japan, and even the United States. But no empire lasts forever. As the 90s rolled in, the cracks started to show. Yugoslavia, the birthplace of the K67, was collapsing. The once thriving industrial sector was falling apart, and with it, the factories that had once mass-produced these futuristic kiosks. Imgrad Ljutomer, the primary manufacturer, struggled to survive the region's economic downfall. The demand that once fueled mass production began to dry up, and by the 1999, it stopped completely. The K67, which had once symbolized the future, was now a relic of the past. While the kiosk itself was thriving in the streets, its creator, Sasha Mehtig, wasn't reaping the rewards. Unlike in the West, where designers could patent their work and cash in on royalties, Yugoslavia's socialist system meant that Mehtig had little control over the financial success of his invention. He was paid for his work, but as the Yugoslav dinar spiraled into hyperinflation in the early 90s, whatever money he had made was wiped out. The man who had revolutionized urban design was not living in luxury. Instead, he watched as his creation spread across the world without bringing him wealth. As the 2000s approached, cities across Europe no longer needed a K67. Shopping malls replaced street kiosks, new urban planning laws made them obsolete, and their once futuristic design was now seen as outdated. Some were left abandoned, others were scraped for parts, and those that remained were often vandalized or forgotten. But even in its downfall, the K67 refused to die completely. A handful of kiosks found second lives, converted into coffee stands, bars, and museum pieces. In 2018, the Museum of Modern Art in New York added a K67 to its collection, cementing its place in design history.